Yeah.
I try not to make this more than half an hour though for you. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I would happily talk about these. I've got four films, I think, that are my four favourite films of the year.
Cool. Okay. Yes. So let's get into the Oscars. Do.
And what would have been Oscars?
So I think I'll just quickly rattle off some of the films that we haven't seen together. So that'll be The Irishman, Rocketman, and Jojo Rabbit. And then I'll talk about Marriage Story, and then we can just talk about the films that we liked the most. Irishman, Martin Scorsese, 3.5 fucking hours long. No, thank you. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's too long. I don't care how. I didn't think it was that well acted. I couldn't follow the story.
I have heard from someone else who did like it. This is not my view, and someone else's, that the length, similar to like kind of the Wolf of Wall Street, and it is needed because you're meant to almost feel as old as the fucking character himself. But
I felt fucking old by the end of this film.
Yeah.
No, it's too much. I get it. I could have got it. You could have cut so much out of this film.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
It's Scorsese's style. I like the de-aging, but they de-aged Robert De Niro in his face, but he's still got an 85-year-old man's body when he has to do any movement.
Yeah, very, very funny.
Yeah, I can't recommend it. I was so bored. Jojo Rabbit, very funny. Less funny than I was expecting, and more heartwarming. Just great drama. The child actors were really great, and Scarlett Johansson was absolutely mesmerizing. She should have won, in my opinion, Best Supporting Actress and Best Actress.
Yeah, she was nominated for both, wasn't she?
She should have won both, in my opinion. Wow, she was great. I do recommend this film, though. Even Sam Rockwell plays a Nazi who you identify with a little bit. Not identify, but like he isn't irredeemable.
Yeah,
it's very good. I can't say any much more, but I fully recommend it. Obviously, Rocketman was my favourite film until basically the last 2 months. Really great story. Basically, what I wanted Bohemian Rhapsody to be.
Yeah, I haven't seen Rocketman. I hated Bohemian Rhapsody, or not. Maybe hate's a strong word. Just wanted more from.
Still got all the great songs. Taron Egerton's a great singer, and he does it himself. They don't shy away from him being a bad person and having bad parts of his life. They have so much gay sex; it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and it has a really great structure and wrap up, and some nice visual metaphors. It's great. A really fantastic movie.
Yeah, I will watch that one for sure.
What else? Marriage Story. Two people in a room acting at each other, and it's the two powerhouses of the industry. It's Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson.
Yep.
I don't need to say anything else. They are.
Yeah, it was always going to be good.
I think there's one 10-minute scene where they have to discuss something big. And you understand both characters, where they're coming from, and they're completely reasonable and likable, and you completely understand their motivations. And goodness me, God, I think Adam Driver is... Oh, God, he's so good at acting.
Yeah, he really is.
I mean, I would say he did the best acting performance this year if it wasn't for Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe in the same movie.
Yeah, they were both. We'll get to that.
Yes. Honestly, Marriage Story, it's very frank, and it's very real, and it's very emotional, and it's wonderful. Yeah. Watch it now. Okay, so which film would you like to talk about first?
It's an interesting. I have them ranked 4 to one in my head. The four. I don't know if you're thinking of the same four. If you've got a list of four left,
I probably do.
I think my list to 4 to 1 is different to yours. My 1 is definitely the same as yours.
Number four for me is Rocket Man, so that's the only one different.
Oh, okay. My four, because my 4 films, my top 4 films this year. Fourth is Uncut Gems, then Parasite, then Knives Out, and then in top spot is The Lighthouse. So I don't mind speaking about Uncut Gems now.
Sure. Uncut Gems is up there, but mine is Lighthouse, Parasite, Knives Out, and then Uncut Gems is probably like I don't know, 8th or 9th, because I've seen quite a lot of good movies. But Uncut Gems, I'm happy to talk about. Yeah,
I just fucking loved it, and it was weird because I watched it in the same day as Uncut Gem as The Lighthouse, so it was my second favorite film that day. But
tough to follow.
I thought about Uncut Gems I've only saw it about a week ago, but I've pretty much thought about it each day. It was obviously Adam Sandler playing the most horrible character ever, someone that really gets under your skin, and then
in this movie he plays
basically.
Is his performance better because you know he's an irredeemable, horrible, unlikable prick?
Maybe it's fantastic casting.
I think so too. Deserves an Oscar. Hate it.
I think I know you had some opinions where the soundtrack wasn't amazing at parts, but I thought in other parts the soundtrack was just fucking amazing.
It was constant and driving, which I love.
I could not get it out of my head. I've seen memes of online of just bits and bobs of the film, and then the soundtrack's still playing, and it just brings back to me how fucking much I loved it. It's very similar to the Good Time soundtrack. Same guy. It almost, I think the first 10 minutes just doesn't stop. It's just a 10-minute weird electro kind of almost kind of like not ambient noise in the background, but somehow builds tension.
There's twice, I think, where I think it was like quieter scenes where he enters into a house and there's no one else there. And the soundtrack was sort of like a bit jazzy and a bit like going. And I thought, okay, it doesn't quite fit here. It should just be sort of more subdued. And that's the only 2 times I remember not liking the soundtrack.
I guess that.
But I mean, honestly,
I think what he was going for was just like a consistent noise almost, basically.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
And I guess in parts that would be hard because those scenes are probably the scenes where you don't need a score and he should be kind of just walking around the house, for example. But towards the end of the film, I was just, not clenched, completely clenched. Then the right at the end of the film, after everything seems to have like kind of reached its climax, there was just a sharp turn that I was like, oh my fucking god, that's awesome.
I was like, oh, of course that would happen.
Yeah,
that's great.
I didn't even think if it was going to happen, but the second it did, I was like, oh, obviously. Oh yeah. And I think along with the other films that we're about to talk about, it will be remembered. It won't just be a big hit of the year and then kind of forgotten. I think it will, at least with me, it will live long in my memory. I really enjoyed it.
I think how because his character is so sleazy, skeevy, horrid, and he's always on his phone, just constantly trying to just get that next like scam working, get the next like just to get everything working for him, and it felt so real. And like,
I think that's the same. It's the same with Good Time. I don't want to give away Good Time because I know you haven't seen it, but it's very much just
they're talking over each other, and
this is where the story starts. It almost is. It's not like a cuts to next day at all. It's just always a perfect continuation. I mean, Good Time itself is just one night. Like I won't say what happens, but it's the course of what one character goes through in the entire night, and because of that, it's fucking tense. And this almost felt the same. I don't know how many days it spanned over, maybe a week, because he was trying to get the money.
Probably about a week, yeah.
Yeah, but it very much felt kind of like...
God, everything felt so like, oh God, like, just every situation was just like, oh, I feel so uncomfortable, and...
And
God,
I can't wait to see
I
what the
laughed
Safdie
a lot
brothers do.
actually. Yes, I'm definitely interested in seeing Good Times. I laughed a lot when Adam Sandler won a bet and he said, "Oh my God, I've just come." I think that's the funniest thing he's ever done in his entire life.
It's very disorientating at first sometimes to see Adam Sandler in a film that's like well directed and well written, because it's like seeing like the first shot of Punch Drunk Love, where it's like a one continuous shot and you're like, this isn't you.
Yeah, his Happy Madison has nothing to do with this film, and the problem is
once you get past that,
yeah,
I think, and if you can get past that, I think it's definitely maybe not enjoyable film, because it's hard to.
It's stressful. This film is stressful, but it's purposefully stressful.
Yeah.
The one bad thing that will come from this film, though, is that we may see Adam Sandler in more roles.
Yes, until he does do another role, and it's not a sleazy, annoying guy.
He's just another comedy that's not funny.
Yeah, or even just like a bad guy or something, and he, it shows that he can't.
He's not a good actor.
Yeah, it is absolutely crazy how it wasn't really a performance, because he was just kind of like acting on his own instincts of probably being a dick, but in terms of an actual performance, just the little minute, like he kind of like chewed his kind of jaw a bit when he was looking at people, and just like, he
plays a prick so good.
Yeah, he does. And the end, the build up to the bet and then the end, I was just like, yep.
I think the scene where they're all sort of trapped in the jewelry store, where like they're trying to buzz open the door, and it just doesn't work.
And the soundtrack for the bit where they are in that box and he's watching the game, and then they are slowly getting more interested in if he's going to win this big bet, was all just fantastic.
It's that meme of like, oh God, oh yes, oh oh, that's great. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It should have been nominated for an Oscar over some of the films this year. I think he shouldn't have won the best performance, but
no, I don't think it's an odd one, because an Oscar nomination should still be a thing to be given out as an accolade, because it's almost like why give it to him if he's obviously not going to win. But you could say that about half the people. I mean, you could say that about anyone that wasn't.
Yeah, but it's just giving them recognition for really outstanding work. Yeah.
And I think maybe he did just deserve the nod. Just give him but if what might come of it be him,
if he does another role like this, he should deserve an Oscar. But in fairness, Joaquin Phoenix, he should have got the win this year.
But what you're saying about it's a bad thing that he might get into more roles like this, it could also be a good thing that he might finally stop doing grown-up, like the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Like stuff that even if I'm not going to see it and it's never going to enter my life, will be made. It shouldn't annoy me. I can avoid it like the plague, but it's just that 1% of my brain that knows it's out there. Yes. He might take a break from doing another cash grab, but we'll see.
We will see. I really hope so, but I don't
know. He's an interesting.
I've watched interviews with him, and he's a strange man. He is. He just seems like a prick. I just don't like him.
For good reason.
Yeah. So I'll move on. Have you watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No.
Okay. And you haven't watched Joker?
I haven't watched either. So talk to the your heart's content, because I think
I'll talk about those two then. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I won't spoil. It's a Quentin Tarantino movie that is slower than a lot of his other movies, with standard Tarantino tropes that everyone will enjoy, but great stretches of acting from Leo and Brad Pitt. A real love and care to the look of 70s Hollywood. And there's a cool scene with Bruce Lee. That was quite cool. You know, it's a Tarantino film. It's not his best work. It's quite lengthy, but I wasn't bored watching it.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I heard people that go in that even wanted to not like it come out and be like, oh, yeah, that was good.
It's very well done, but there's just a lot of people driving around. You know, watch it, and I can't say much more, but I enjoyed it, but I'll never watch it again.
Was Brad Pitt worthy of the...
It was good.
Actor?
It was very good, but like, I mean, I think any of the characters from Parasite could have won it. I think any of the... you know, Willem Dafoe or Robert Pattinson could have won it. I don't know. It was very good. You know, I'm glad he's won an Oscar finally, but he wouldn't have been my first choice.
No, I think I didn't predict him.
I didn't even think he would be nominated. I was just like, oh, sure, okay. I mean, yeah, he was good, but like Leo really shines over him in this movie again.
Interesting.
But he's a main. I don't know. Yeah, do watch it though. Finally, let's get to Joker. A lot of people had this film as being like, what's the word? Like irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it is. I think, you know, you go into this movie not expecting Joker to be a villain. You're a bit of a fucking idiot. Like, it doesn't have... Because people go, oh, it's got unhealthy attitudes towards women, unhealthy attitudes towards, like, destruction. And I'm like, well, yeah, he's the Joker. He's known for that. And also, it doesn't really have unhealthy attitudes towards women. It has... the main point of the film is how awful the system is in America to do with mental health and to do with poverty and income inequality. Those are the main things it's really going for. And I think it makes the point well. It's a pretty good film with some interesting twists on the Batman mythos. I didn't think a standalone film about a villain would work, but they do it as a origin story, which definitely emulates Taxi Driver and King of Comedy quite a lot. But it's carried by one of the greatest acting performances ever, probably. Joaquin Phoenix is... I mean, I didn't think Heath Ledger could be challenged, but my goodness gracious me. He is magnificent.
Fair enough.
Yeah, speechless. In some points, I was speechless. He has this thing where it's such a clever idea in that there's a condition where people who are worried or have like deep psychological scars have unconditional laughing, where they can't control it and they burst out laughing, and it's painful and it hurts, and it's such a brilliant idea for his laugh. And every time he laughs, he's like trying to hold it in desperately because he can't deal with the situation. He's in absolute agony, and you can tell it's straining and hurting him. He's lost so much weight for this role, and that's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, the plot is... it's fine. It's written by the guy who did the Hangover movies, so I'd say it's excelling.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not Citizen Kane for writing, but I think it's all comes together very well. I enjoyed it quite a lot. And
fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's some bits in it people might go, oh, well, I mean, that's pretty obvious. But it's done very well. I'm surprised more than anyone that the director did such a good job. But Joaquin Phoenix is a big reason to be thankful for this movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
I will watch it one day.
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not overly.
It uses music very well as well.
I have heard the soundtrack very good.
Yeah. Cool. I think we should get on to the last 4 films then. Last 3 films, I think.
Yes. Okay, I was going to say I only have 3 left.
Okay. So, which one do you want to talk about next?
I think I'd like to talk about Parasite because there is a review I watched of Parasite, which we'll talk towards the end of talking about Parasite. That of that guy I was telling you about, in which he reviews. He basically hears. It's on his YouTube channel. He basically hears that Parasite's just won the Oscar. He is entirely outraged, and he is just this white neck beardy comic book type, and in the background he's got just a fuckload of DC comics.
Oh dear.
And he basically does a 10-minute monologue, like so irate, of why Joker should win, and then says halfway through it, like, I haven't actually seen Parasite. And he talks about how Joker deals with the problem with classes and how people in higher classes mistreat the lower class, and he basically gave all of the reasons why Parasite is fucking amazing.
Yes.
And I assume Joker does it quite well as well, but I haven't seen it.
Joker's
I
main
presume
his main theme is eat the rich.
Yeah.
But that's more like mean-spirited than Parasites.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with this film. I watched it last night. I came out just like head blown.
It's breathtaking, isn't it?
Yeah. The sudden change of pace right at the kind of midway point of the film was just kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah. But it's even the subtle camera work and the way that, I mean, everybody always points to this thing, but I do like it in that the lower class family. I mean, the best idea to watch this film is to not know much about it, but it's about social inequality essentially. So I mean, I don't want to say spoilers or whatever, or you want to skip ahead if you don't want to know anything, but skip ahead like 5 minutes if you don't want to know anything about this film. But I'll try and keep it to the bare minimum, in that the lower down, poorer family live in a smaller, more claustrophobic place that's like half in the basement. So it's like they're lower down.
Yeah, it's a semi-basement, isn't it?
And then the rich family lives up on a hill. It's like more open, beautiful space and stuff. And it's like, it's so well conveyed, even through the camera work.
Yeah, when they run away when shit's going down towards the end of the film from the higher class house to their own semi-basement, and it's just lots of shots of them running downhill in the rain.
Yes,
it's just I love it.
Yeah,
I love that.
All of the actors in it are wonderful. The directing is wonderful. The story is easy to follow, and it also does a weird job of, like, you'd think it would vilify the rich, and it does in some degree, but it doesn't shy away from. The main point of it is how broken the system is, and that inequality and social, financial and social inequality is really the big villain and the key that makes, all the problems in this society. And like, I mean, even the word parasite in the title is both ways, in that the poorer family are clearly the more metaphorical parasites, but you could also say the rich are parasites living off the labour of the poorer classes to do their menial tasks for them.
Yeah, man, it was. I'm still at that point.
The reveals. God, that
Yeah.
halfway twist is so good.
And then the end is just.
The ending is so good.
Ramps to 0 to 10 in almost immediately. Oh god.
I love the actual. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to talk about the end, but the whole, like, end monologue describes, like, the only path of hope for people of the poorer class, and it's so like, oh my god, that is so heartbreaking, and like, yeah, man, I don't know, Bong Joon-ho, absolute, you madman. It's wonderful, and oh god, it's so good. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I want people to just watch the film.
Yeah, me too.
But do carry on.
It's just absolutely. I need to watch it a second time actually. Yes. Not to say that I didn't enjoy it, but the friend that I went to see it with was seeing it for a second time, and he said it made it about 5 times better, even like again. It's crazy good, and I think it has probably a lot of things in the first half that foreshadow what's going to happen.
Yes,
but none of which I can think of too much at the moment, or even want to spoil. So
like, there's a thing with a stone. There's like peaches, like loads of small hints.
Also, the comedy in it was like, that's just really underrated as well. The scene where the music's getting like a bit more epic, and they're kind of infiltrating their way. They're doing their plan basically. Was just I had a great smile on my face while watching it, and then I went through every kind of emotion watching it. Really,
it's like also the I think the daughter is the standout. She's so good. She steals every scene she's in, and I think one of my favourite scenes is when the rich family leaves, and they can sort of like, this is before any of the like twists, but they can sort of like relax, but they still are shot so that they're so out of place. They're messy, and they're like, they look like a parasite in that shot, and I think that's brilliant. Oh yeah, no, masterful. Glad it won the Oscar. Fully deserves it out of the films nominated.
Yep.
Justice for foreign films, and hopefully this inspires more people to be like, hey, it's not just American cinema. It won't be, but
I think
if more people can watch things like Old Boy,
I think it will do a lot more. I mean, it depends. We'll see, obviously. But I think this is. I don't want to put too much pressure on it, but I think it could be a very defining moment in years to come. As like, this is what really kind of pushed the kind of generic audience to just not Hollywood films. But we'll see.
I think the language barrier, and like, because I was talking to people at work today, and they were saying, "Oh, I heard that film that you really like, Jazz, won the Oscar." I was like, "Yeah, it did." And they went, "Oh, do you reckon we should watch it?" And I said, "Well, yeah. I mean, it's literally a landmark film." And they went, "Oh, but is it dubbed or is it with English language?" And I said, "Well, it can be, but I mean, I think it's best to be watched with subtitles." And that put people off. They just went, "Oh, I don't understand it. I can't watch subtitles."
Yeah, that's what he said. One of his acceptance speeches, not the Oscars. Another award. Bong Joon-ho was just like, if you could just get past subtitles, you'll be opening yourself up to a world of great films.
I mean, there's so many great Japanese, Korean, Brazilian like films that are, just need to get put. French films. There's German, Italian films as well. If you could just get past the that barrier, Yeah,
and I think this will help.
I hope so.
It's obviously, I'm just happy, very happy for it to win. When I woke up and saw that it won and he had won, it was very like I was just very happy with the results. Basically,
I had a smile.
I can't say I've had that about the Oscars, other than Moonlight topping La La Land.
Yes.
I haven't really had a joy at the Oscars for a while.
Oh, I was happy that Shape of Water won because I really like that film.
Oh, there was a yeah. Okay, sorry. I was in a conversation with someone the other day, and I thought Moonlight was the one before last, but The Shape of Water was. Okay, cool.
It's I'm just so used to like the clearly obvious film not winning in a lot of things, and I was like, okay, 1917, I'm sure that'll win.
Yeah,
I had it pegged, but you know, they did it. Good.
Yeah,
for
well done, Oscars, and they worked out the best film.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, watch Parasite immediately. Give them the money.
Exactly. It was really cool to see. I had watched it the day after the Oscar win, and the 250-seater cinema was just packed out.
That's great. Good.
It was very good to see. I think that's mainly a result of living in a big city, and also a multicultural city, I guess. Whereas I think the likes of a town like Basingstoke, for instance,
I haven't actually researched to see if it's out in Basingstoke. The thing is, if they show it, people would watch it because they're like, this film won the best picture. It must be that good.
Yeah, we'll win a bit of money. It's not.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, hopefully, we can hope. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Watch Parasite, everyone. It's my second favourite film this year.
It was my third.
This next film we're going to talk about is one of my... I probably enjoyed it from a fun perspective more than Parasite.
The most fun film of the year. But for me, easily.
Yes. And that is Knives Out. Rian Johnson proving once again how great of a writer and director he is. It's an Agatha Christie style murder mystery, and it's excellent. It's
so well written.
Yes,
and it's got the enjoyment level of a film that it is like a blockbuster superhero film. That's not not a tiresome one anyway.
It's wonderfully cartoonish also, in the right way.
Yeah, exactly, but it's also just so well crafted, so well written as well. Whereas those kind of films that you get that kind of enjoyment out of, that kind of cheesy fun, are usually at a cost of
subpar plot.
Yeah. Whereas this, like, when I saw this advertised, and I saw the big cast, and I saw it was a whodunit, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll lean into it. And then I just did not expect this to be so fantastic.
Yes. It's all the little foreshadowing, even the small loops inside, like the baseball. Like an innocuous throw of a baseball outside of a window ends up completing a mini character arc. And I think that's just such wonderful storytelling without dialogue. It's, and everything is hinted at. There's nothing that's... It's such a tight story. Nothing is... comes out of nowhere. It's all completely logical and hinted at, and
there's never any kind of parts written that are just written for that. Even the comedy of the film was just perfectly woven into the plot. The kind of first 10 minutes, 20 minutes where they interview each of the suspects of the whodunit murder.
Oh my god, that is so genius.
So funny. How they kind of even the joke of where they're calling the maid a different nationality because they're all kind of. It was so funny. I just and
it sets up the characters, the worlds, and the mystery as well so quickly and easily.
Yeah, the Daniel Craig with a southern accent. That's just great.
Southern, they call him fucking Foghorn Leghorn, Colonel Sanders, KFC.
Just kind of has all these saying like a donut within a donut.
Yeah.
And,
instead of that, there's a hole inside the donut.
And like, if someone told me like, oh, there's a whodunit, and one of the main girls, her thing is that she pukes when she lies, I'd have been like, that film is going to be awful. Yeah. And oh my fucking Christ, what that's amazing.
I actually love that sort of mechanic because it's so because it adds tension to certain scenes, and it makes and it adds like a sense of like complete truth in certain areas. But even then, they worm around it almost immediately.
Yeah. Oh man, it was just, and also like, I mean, I didn't work out who did it, which in a whodunit can ruin the film.
Mm-hmm.
So cleverly enough written for that. But I think the reason I didn't kind of work it out is because about the midway point, you just realize it could be anyone, and you are enjoying the ride so much that you just don't think about it. Some parts of whodunits are kind of spoiled because you're overthinking everything. You're missing the beauty of what you're watching because you're trying to be the detective, which can make things great, but also can ruin things. Whereas this was just so overwhelmingly fun that I actively remember thinking, okay, I'm actually just, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to enjoy this ride.
I mean, the only thing is, like, I knew immediately when, I mean, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but when a certain character couldn't find a certain thing, quite early on, like in a tense moment, I was like, okay, clearly it's not what it seems to be, and someone else is the culprit, and I could rule that person out. But it was still done in such a way of like, even then there was a certain aspect of it that I didn't even think about, and that even like I could see nitpick people like writing in the columns about like, oh well, this doesn't make sense because this, and it's like, no, they thought of that and wove that into the story in a nice little. It was like 5 steps ahead of me. Great, really good. And even there's little things like that where I didn't even think of catching. That I was like, oh, I can't believe I didn't get it.
The visual gags are incredible. The bit right at the end with the mug, the writing on the mug.
Yes. Yeah, that's great.
And the whole cast as well. Like I none of them were overshadowed by the other, but they were all fantastic.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, I really love that. It's actually, I'd say maybe because of the enjoyment level rather than just how fucking fantastic the movie is the film out of the top 4 that I have and the top 5 or top 6 of you have that I would probably pay money to see again.
Yeah, I've watched it twice already.
Oh, have you?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, my parents wanted to watch it, so I watched it with them. And it's great, and they have so many subtle visual things. Like there's a bit where, you know, where Ana de Armas, she looks through a window pane right at the beginning at the detectives. And there's like stained glass. It's got stained glass window thing that shows off certain foreshadowing events. And I was like, that's great. That's really great. There's, if you look at like the letter that one of the characters reads, there's certain marks on it that indicate something that happens further on. There are also it keeps talking about a donut, and I realize it means who done it, like a donut.
That's very.
And what was the other bit I liked? I really liked the scene after the will reading, where she comes out of the house, and then the camera work it's because it's all quite stable and quite stationary, the camera, until this point, and then the camera gets picked up as like a handheld camera and moved towards it like press and like paparazzi coming towards Ana de Armas, and like everyone's swarming around her, and the camera work was so frantic. I really enjoyed that one little scene. I was like, that's really nicely shot.
Yeah, he's I just can't wait to see what Ryan Johnson. Yeah.
He said he's going to make a sequel to it, and he's going to have a complete different cast and mystery. And I'm like, wonderful.
What? Yeah, that I did not hear that. That's actually put a smile to my face.
That's like the last couple of days.
That's awesome.
I mean, he literally said, yeah, you know, because that's of course you've solved the mystery. You don't need those characters anymore. Maybe have like Daniel Craig or something, but just another mystery. The kind of I like Poirot kind of goes about 2 different whodunits. You could have just this, but basically just Agatha Christie, but just fun and stupid. Yes.
But stupid in a brilliant way.
I love murder mysteries, and it's such a traditional but well written one, and so stylized. I would pay to see any of these kinds of films. I really want whodunits to come back as like a trend.
Mm.
Oh, also here's another thing
sure.
I saw on Reddit today. As a movie detail, the portrait of the main guy, Christopher Plummer. It's just a normal portrait. But after they reveal who the actual killer is and the mystery is solved, the portrait changes to have a little bit of a smirk.
Yeah, I thought it did. I remember seeing that and thinking, was that smirk always there, or was that just now my perception of the picture?
Yeah, no, it's a neat little change.
Yeah, I think the very first part of the film, not to give that this doesn't happen, so maybe you can edit this out, Jazz, but I was kind of down the line of like, has he framed everyone, or is he fucking with everyone? Is he alive? Is he?
That's yes. I think that is intentional because obviously he's a.
I think that is intentional.
He's obviously like
he's the writer,
mystery writer,
yeah.
And I'm like, that's such a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. Excited for any.
If you want to enjoy a movie,
in the future,
please watch Knives Out if you haven't.
Yes. I agree.
Now, should we get to the last film and both our favourite of the year? And I'll let you take the reign because you did watch it first and recommend it to me.
Okay. So we're on to both of our favourite films this year. It is a lovely little film by the director of The Witch, Robert Eggers, The Lighthouse. It's so good that it makes a lot of the other films that I've seen this year seem childish and just completely unartistic in comparison. It's so astoundingly beautiful. God, where to even start? Where do we even start with this? I think it's one of my favourite acting performances of all time. By both Robert Pattinson and especially Willem Dafoe. The visual metaphors and the allegories to Greek myth and even Lovecraftian horror are wonderful, and it leaves the film, it can be interpreted in almost 3 different ways, and even the actors say that them and the director all have a different idea of what actually happened. They built the whole lighthouse from scratch just for the movie as well, by the way. And it's a working lighthouse. Oh, wow. It's a working lighthouse, and it is standing still.
Really cool.
The entire set is actually in the lighthouse as well. Everything is constructed and is real. The weather is all real. It's all true. It's so quotable. It has so many stark visual scenes that I will never forget. I've thought about this film, like you said with Parasite and Knives Out. I've thought about this film every single day, and Uncut Gems. I've thought about this film every day since I've watched it.
I agree. I also I don't know whether to get into spoilers by talking about it, but the kind of different way you could interpret the film, I've interpreted it differently kind of each time I've thought back to it as well.
Yes.
I definitely got the kind of Greek mythology and all that stuff.
I think let's talk about it for 2 minutes, and then I'll put a spoiler warning up, and then we could just go hard into it. Okay.
So I will wait, and you say the spoiler-free stuff because I'm struggling not to.
Obviously, on a surface, it's a movie about 2 men in a lighthouse who slowly go mad from awful weather, and everything is unclear whether or not it's down to madness or if it's down to curses or mystical means. They are the people exactly what they seem, and it's so wonderfully acted, so wonderfully. It's like a period piece, but it doesn't feel like a period piece. Everything's in this great aspect ratio and black and white, and yet it's so precise, and it looks the shadows on Willem Dafoe's face when he does his famous monologue, which is probably my favourite monologue ever, are so striking that the fact that this film didn't win Best Cinematography is laughable.
Well, I am a big fan of...
I like Roger Deakins too, but...
Roger Deakins.
But
I haven't seen 1917,
Jesus Christ, this film. And you really feel the agony and the mental strain and the hunger and the like madness that these characters are going through. And then even then, like, so many things you don't... Oh, God. Yeah. Watch the film. It's one of the greatest films ever made. It could be in my top 10. It's that good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would agree that it's definitely a masterpiece.
I think I should throw up the spoiler warning now. Thanks for watching. If you're gonna, this will be the last thing, but we're just gonna go into spoiler territory here. So, thanks for watching. If you're not gonna watch spoilers, go watch this fucking film. Okay, spoilers. Christ, go on.
So, visual wise, just some of this, like Willem Dafoe naked, Robert Pattinson wanking constantly, vagina of a mermaid,
the vagina mermaid.
Jesus Christ,
that stood out to me.
But it builds up so well to all of the scenes that I found them like quite stark and shocking, but also not in the way that's like that is out of place.
No,
if that makes sense. You know,
absolutely.
They felt right at the film, but they were also, you know, so haunting.
Yeah,
I never thought
the mermaid
Robin,
pussy. My goodness.
Yeah, I don't.
The dripping semen from when he, or like it's not even semen. It could be like slime coming from when he sees him.
Legs.
But like, and it's like it's played like, is he mad? Is this because there's a few times Willem Dafoe rebukes some of the things he says, whereas, and then it's like, is it to do with sirens? Is it like Lovecraftian, like Dagon cults in the lighthouse? Is it actually a representation of the myth of who was it? There's like Perseus and who's the bloke who got chained to the rock? Pericles or something?
Prometheus.
Prometheus, that's it. Yeah, the Promethean.
Is it Prometheus?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
There's obviously the mermaid imagery is quite strong because these are two men stuck in a lighthouse together with no women around. And so obviously they masturbate and fantasize about women. And it's clearly, I mean, Willem Dafoe is such an old, salty sea dog that he's been there for so long and like he's so used to it, but he even has like a gay twinge in it, like when he gets drunk. That was like, that bit was great. I just did not. Oh man, this fucking film. Yeah.
But, I did think just for a little bit, thinking back the other day that it could even be like a time loop kind of thing.
Yes,
where
I completely thought that.
Willem Dafoe's character, which makes a little bit of sense, although
like he falls down at the end and hurts his leg,
doesn't.
And he is...
Yes, because apparently, I looked this up, it sounds like his leg cracks, I think.
Yes.
Or sounds like something cracked when he falls, and oh man, the visuals of like Willem Dafoe's arse, and I mean the bit where like, Willem Dafoe turns into an octopus killer thing, crab
like
semen
Triton,
demon, and then he
like
just
King
beats
Neptune.
the shit out of him. Yeah, I was like, what the Jesus
and it's
Christ.
And it's like, does that mean that Willem Dafoe is like a cultish member, or like an old eldritch being, or is he is this like what Robert Pattinson views him as, like this old like Navy superstitious oppressive being, like, and it's like the light comes out of his eyes, and is that him controlling him or inputting? He finds like the head of his old the other wiki, and it's like, is that fake, or is that him going mad because he thinks he's hiding things from him? And that could be back to that loop where he becomes Thomas in the end, and the new person will come in, and but even like the ending is so ambiguous, where he's like completely covered in blood, and you just see the light come out from the actual thing.
Yeah, the kind of maddening silent scream that he does while looking into the light, which you don't get to look into yourself. You kind of just assume that he's just gained kind of like, I don't know, all knowledge or something like that.
Yes.
It's a little bit like 2001, I guess. The kind of ending there where he's just kind of slowly getting older, and then you kind of start realizing that he's kind of gaining knowledge, and then comes Weird Space Baby. It's so
haunting.
That's exactly the word. Hauntingly beautiful.
Yes.
I can't recommend this film enough.
What about the scene where he smashes a fucking seagull to death? Isn't that my
god, yeah.
Isn't that just one of the greatest scenes ever in history?
I just all of the build-ups to it as well, just like don't kill the seabirds, and just the kind of
sparring with a gun.
Yeah. Just the kind of build-up to you kind of wanting to kind of see him hurt the seagull. You wouldn't wish that upon it, but and he just fucking like absolutely
fucking annihilates him. But like I was thinking, is that an actual seagull? Like, that is the only time I think of any film I've ever thought
really good.
Has he actually grabbed and killed a real seagull on film? Because it looks so convincing. I recoiled in horror when I saw it.
How and how kind of connected to their madness you are. You kind of just assume that he has killed a seagull.
And then it's like, is that the turning point for the weather? Is that the superstition? Are the seagulls the souls of dead sailors who've also died on this rock? And like, and then it even it disperses the like hard like madness, and the like he's really hard like on Robert Pattinson, like, I'll make you take every nail and board and spit and polish every fucking part of the building until I see ye do. And then like he's really hard on him, and then after that they're like, he tries to be like friends with him, and they like drink a lot, and like forces him to like do sea shanties with him and stuff, and it's like this complete twist that isn't like setting right with Robert Pattinson. It adds to the sort of like the weird friendship, and then they diverge again because he's a complete nutter. Oh god! And then the ending just like
I would say in terms of performance, both of them are. I mean, I say Willem Dafoe. It's hard to judge who's better because they're both just like so good, and they're both dealing with what they've got given. But Willem Dafoe, I can't think of a better performance for a while. It is the fact that he's also this kind of fucking crazy ass voice. He never wavers from it at all.
No, he's hardcore sea pirate.
Crazy believable. Like I kind of came, maybe because I'm very familiar with Robert Pattinson's recent work, because I keep watching loads of films with him. I kind of was watching that, kind of going like, he is, he's fucking amazing at acting. I just came away from it thinking that Willem Dafoe. Yeah, yes, yeah, me too.
But I mean, it's not like it was distracting.
Whereas Willem Dafoe, I just assumed that's who he's living. That's how he's living his life now for the rest of his life.
I could see him living in a lighthouse just screaming at people.
Oh man!
But I mean, that's it. I think it's one of the best acting performances since Joker. That's how good it is. The bit where he's doing his like monologue as he's getting dirt shoveled into his mouth, and he's still acting and eating the dirt and carrying on. I don't.
That bit. I was just like, I kind of didn't take in what he was saying. I need to watch it again because I was just in my head like, this is amazing.
Yes.
This is how.
And then
yeah.
And I mean, obviously after they obviously drink like like lighter fluid and stuff, which is hilarious. But like the desperation they get to, and then obviously, you know, we're all going to talk about the fucking monologue where he's you don't like me cooking, do you, lad? I know you're fond of me lobster.
Yeah.
And then like they're like drunk and having arguments, and then he just stands up, and then you hear him say "hark," and like lightning strikes, and it's like, is he actually cursing him as Neptune? And he does this like 3-minute monologue where he doesn't blink. He has this like this beautiful lighting on his face, and it's such Shakespearean intensity. He's like, I fill your brills with slime and bilge, and there'll be Wilslow no more. And it's, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch you just spill your beans.
God,
I
that's
just
so
beans
good.
your beans, Winslow. Oh man.
Endlessly quotable.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again when it comes out. Or maybe just soon again.
Yes.
I
also intend to watch it again multiple times.
I'd say it. We'll see how the decade unfolds, but I could easily see it being up there with the best films of the decade right off the bat, right at the start.
I agree.
But we'll just have to find out.
I'm going ahead and thinking that this film is how to put it. Because obviously we will have different interpretations of the ending since it's left so ambiguous. And I know he's like, in the end, he's just like having his innards pecked out by seagulls, which is like a roundabout thing. But in my head canon, he is completely mad and he can't bear the weight of his sins and goes mad. And there is nothing in the lighthouse, and that's what drives him mad. There's nothing in the light. He is just completely and utterly lost it. But it could be that the lighthouse is a monument to Dagon. It could be that he is Prometheus, and Thomas is Neptune. It could be that it's a time loop. I like that it could be all of those things.
I like that you can interpret. Like, I know multiple interpretation endings are cool, but usually I lean more towards one than the other, and that's the one I'll stick with, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this,
I like four endings.
Yeah, I really like the idea that he kind of came, he just kind of gathered knowledge, and then it made him go mad. Although that could be the same thing as you're saying. He just gathered the knowledge at that. It's nothing.
Yes, that's exactly what I think. After all he did, after all he suffered through, he realised that there was nothing in it, and it's just a light. And that drove him off the end. But it could also be that, and that's what I think also drove Thomas mad. I think he's completely mad because there is nothing in it, and he looks at it and fantasizes what it could be, and that's why, and that's why Winslow thinks, it could be something otherworldly, which is represented by the tentacles and this eldritch being of. Oh God, I love that film so much. Best film ever. And that's the films from 2019.
That's everything. I kind of want to just to maybe round off. Just said our favorite films this year. Do you have any ones that you're particularly looking forward to in 2020?
I mean, we can't not talk about the Sonic movie, but if I'm honest, there's not much that's really catching my eye. I said this to someone at work, I think, they asked me this exact question. I said, obviously, the Sonic movie is going to be like just got a ride, and I'm
melt our minds to, and we will never make films again because it will have just.
Yes, I intend to have about 4 or 5 pints before I watch it. I'm looking forward to Last Night in Soho, which is another Edgar Wright film.
Mm-hmm. I'm quite looking forward to the Bond movie.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. I think
that'll be quite a good ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard. It's in that scenario where if someone asked me this question at this, just after the Oscars has gone by last year, I don't think I'd seen the Lighthouse trailer. I remember seeing the Lighthouse trailer and thinking this is going to be fucking awesome. But before I even saw that trailer, I hadn't even heard of it. So it's almost impossible to know what will.
I think there'll be about 5 or 6 indie or films directed by like directors. You go, oh, he did that one really good film. Oh, this is excellent. Like
maybe I'll just look up what A24 are doing. And then just.
I think so. I want to watch the Nicolas Cage film called The Colour of Space, which is the Lovecraft adaptation, which is meant to be quite good.
Oh, okay. I want to watch The New Mutants and laugh at it because I think it will be awful.
Oh, yeah, I've completely forgotten about it. Yeah, that's the thing, is I haven't even thought about like superhero films or anything, so...
just because that was like a production nightmare.
I'm just gonna tap away while you talk, and I'm gonna look up 2020 films because I'm sure I'm missing like a couple of big ones.
I'm seeing a film this weekend called The Personal History of David Copperfield, which looks really. It's directed by Armando Iannucci, who did like The Thick of It,
and he'd helped with Partridge, didn't he?
Yeah, he helped a lot with Partridge in the early days, and early reviews of that are saying it's just fucking an awesome take on a Charles Dickens novel. So, that's probably like my immediate ones I'm looking forward to. I'm just kind of going through a list online right now, and
yeah, me too. I've heard that Birds of Prey is fine. I have no interest in watching it though.
No, I don't care. Yeah. Apparently, it's not doing well at the box office, and they're actually changing the name now to have Harley Quinn in the title.
Oh, of course.
But everyone's like, why didn't you just do that first? Oh, also, Christopher Nolan is bringing out a film called Tenet.
Oh, yes, that's the other one I wanted to watch. Tenet.
Yeah,
it's got
which looks like
guy from Sorry to Bother You, is what the main character, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Is it? Am I being racist?
I think you are.
Is there not something Washington, like Joshua Washington?
Yeah, John David Washington, but the guy from Sorry to Bother You is
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I get those two confused a lot then, unfortunately. Uh-oh.
That again. Yeah, that kind of just looks like Christopher Nolan going back to Inception, and maybe it might not be, it might just be a bit like, Christopher Nolan trying to recapture some stuff, but I don't know. It looks awesome. Michael Caine's obviously going to be in it, but Robert Pattinson's cast in it, so obviously it's, I think that might be quite good. And then there are other films that I'm like, I can't wait because they're part of my child. Like Bill and Ted 3 might be just the worst thing ever, but
oh god, Bill and Ted 3, yes. I have a lot of hope for that because it's long enough that it could have interesting ideas, and isn't it by the same writers as well?
Yeah,
I think
I have no idea.
And that's, I live with faith with that.
Also, Dune is coming out in December.
Oh, Dune, yes.
Dune, sorry.
I'd like to watch that.
I am intrigued because I think it's kind of, they've already said it's quite challenging, and the original is absolutely kind of mind-boggling how like simultaneously rubbish and also quite good it is. Quite Lynchian, I guess.
It was always gonna be something like that.
Yeah, I'm intrigued that will be any good.
I hope so. I've just seen another
Holy
film.
shit, there's a Coming to America 2.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's called Coming, the number 2 America.
Oh, nice. Okay. I mean, sequel, cool, I guess. I've just seen 2 films that I've realised that I'll probably watch. Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
I
don't care.
Could be interesting, but probably won't be.
Not fun.
And Godzilla vs Kong.
Yep.
Only problem is,
cool.
It's written and directed by the guy who did the Death Note animated Netflix movie. The Death Note Netflix movie. Adam Wingard. That film is going to be god awful trash.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. You're probably looking through the same list that I am. Yeah.
What's the website?
RottenTomatoes.com.
Me too.
Weird that.
75.
Yeah. So I'm expecting a lot of indie movies or movies to come out of nowhere to be the ones that really
I should really look at what. Yeah.
Maybe some foreign releases, And
we'll see if the Oscars can get it right twice in a row. I have a very strong feeling that they'll absolutely fuck it.
I 100% agree. I mean, they did fuck it this year by not giving it to The Lighthouse, but I'm happy that Parasite won it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, me too. Uh-oh. Oh, God.
Is that where you're going to cut it?
That's where I'm going to end it, yeah.